Hi everyone, welcome back to Splash Page. I'm Sean, as always I'm joined by Andrew, and today we're going to be talking through what happens in Season 1, Episode 3 of Invincible, entitled Who You Callin' Ugly. Andrew, you ready to do this?
I am, because I don't remember what happens, so this will be a good refresher for me.
Great, yeah, we're doing this obviously as we are leading up to the announcement of when the season's going to come, Season 2 this year, and to be honest with you, why not have a recap in depth but as quickly as possible. So let's jump right in.
This episode starts at a funeral. It's the funeral for the Guardians of the Globe, which is attended by the vast majority of the superhero community, and even some of the supervillain population.
Mark and Debbie are also in attendance as Omni-Man appears to be the keynote speaker, and he flies in with a couple of jets tailing him, and then gives a speech.
He speaks highly of his relationship with the Guardians of the Globe, even though that we, the audience, know that he's the reason they're all dead.
We then cut to a rainy day in a graveyard. We see that the first funeral was for the public spectacle. And now it's just family, and Omni-Man is dressed in regular street clothes and gives a more heartfelt speech.
He tells us it was the Guardians who first befriended him when he arrived on Earth. He gives some individual call-outs: Martian Man, who was exiled from his own people, War Woman, who was from a different age, and Darkwing, who made his own kind of solitude.
We then hear Olga stumbling and angry. She is absolutely distraught that Red Rush is dead. Debbie goes over to talk to her, but it's clear that Olga doesn't understand what happened and is very, very upset.
Mark sees this and is visibly upset because he realizes that if this could happen to the Guardians of the Globe, it could have happened to his own dad or himself, and that no one is. Title screen! This comes at 3:55 into the episode, and we have some blood covering the word Invincible.
Darkblood, the demon detective, is trying to figure out what happened to the Guardians of the Globe. Him and Nolan have a conversation that's somewhat confrontational. It seems Darkblood helps solve crimes because that's what keeps him from being banished back to hell.
While we're still at the funeral, Cecil compliments Robot's handling of the Flaxons. He then offers Robot the lead position in the new Guardians of the Globe. Robot asks why Omni-Man isn't being asked, and Cecil says it's because Omni-Man's never been interested in joining that team, or taking orders.
When they arrive home from the funeral, Nolan is visibly changed and almost happy as he offers to go pick up pizza for the family. Nolan uses this as a learning opportunity for Mark and says that no matter what happens out there, you have to leave it out there, and you can't bring it home. Debbie says that we should care about these things as we just came home from your friend's funeral, and Nolan's quick to correct her and says co-worker's funeral.
We then see a zoom out that shows the house across the street from Nolan's is actually run by the government, and Donald is sitting there listening in on their conversations. It's very clear that they've had surveillance on Nolan and his family the entire time. The next scene we see Adam Eve, the other potential love interest, fly over to Teen Team's headquarters, and it looks pretty empty except for Duplicate is in the shower. She has multiple versions of her, as well as Rexplode, so this probably won't end well.
We're back with Robot, who is now trying out different superheroes to join the Guardians of the Globe. Invincible's there, but he's not trying out.
We find ourselves watching a fight between a gorilla-looking man and Shrinking Ray, a woman who can shrink to any size she wants to. She shrinks tiny and crawls up inside the gorilla man's nose and messes around with something in his head and his throat, causing him to throw up. 3 episodes, 3 vomits. So after this, the new Guardians of the Globe are Black Samson, Shrinking Ray, Duplicate, Monster Girl, Rexplode, Adam Eve, and of course, Robot.
Adam Eve flies off, upset because she can't be on the same team as Rex. She explains that she caught Rex cheating on her, and that Rex blamed the fact that Adam Eve and Invincible have been hanging out as the fact that they were actually dating and cheating on Rexplode.
Robot tries to get the new Guardians of the Globe to train as a team, and there's obviously some issues between some of the members. Black Samson and Rexplode aren't getting along, surprising seeing as nobody seems to get along with Rexplode. Rex says to Black Samson that he's aware he was part of the original Guardians of the Globe, and he still would have been if he didn't lose his powers. So we know that Black Samson's powers are now more robotic in the sense of a super suit that gives him powers rather than having any natural superpowers of his own anymore.
Monster Girl comes clean that she's actually 24 years old, and she looks so young because her curse is that every time she turns into a monster, she gets younger. So there's a real danger for her to continually go back and forth from a monster to a girl.
Amber comes over for her study date with Mark and borrows a Seance Dog comic, which is a ripoff on Science Dog, which was a big character in the comics but can't be used here because that's actually another property. So while they're on their study date, Mark keeps getting calls from an unknown number, and even though he turns off his phone, the ringing continues. Once Amber leaves the room, Cecil Stedman suddenly teleports into the bedroom.
Cecil tells Mark that he needs him, and he has to go to Mount Rushmore right now because there's a supervillain there. Omni-Man is dealing with a kaiju in another place, so Adam, Eve, and Invincible need to fight Doc Seismic, a villain with earthquake gloves allowing him to create seismic activity.
Doc Seismic ends up falling into one of the cracks in the mountain he opens up, and Invincible and Adam Eve fly in to try to save him, but he appears to fall into the lava, or possibly magma, or I don't know, I think it's lava.
Mark gets back and has a quick conversation with his father. He says, remember that you are a Viltrumite, and that comes with other responsibilities that humans don't have. Mark points out that he has a piece of kaiju on his back. Amber has been in Mark's room for over an hour and is pissed, but they're able to kind of talk past it. The kaiju that Omni-Man fought is still alive, so that might come back later, as Donald talks to Cecil about how much Omni-Man struggled to fight it.
Adam Eve officially breaks it off with Rexplode, and then flies to Mark's house, only to see that Amber and Mark are making out in his bedroom. You could tell it's kind of breaking her heart, but she also seems almost happy for him.
A cop then walks down a long hallway, and we see a number of different villainous-looking creatures locked in different cells. He slides a chicken pot pie into a Mauler twin's cell. The Mauler twin says, Thursday, chicken pot pie day, which has become a fantastic meme for the Invincible show. Then, as the guard is giving the pot pie to the second Mauler twin, we see someone has pressed a button, allowing the door to open, and the Mauler twin is able to grab the security guard, break his hand, knock him out, and escape.
The two Mauler twins escape as they argue about which one is the clone and which one is the real one. They realize that someone's helping them because things just seem to be going right in their escape attempt that they didn't even plan.
As they get into the fresh air, they see a city in the distance, but then hear a gun come out of the ground. As it shoots at them, one of the Mauler twins uses the other as a shield to protect himself, and then is able to run away.
As they run off, we see that the benefactor that's been helping this whole time is actually Robot.
Dun dun dun. Finally, back in Invincible's house, we see Debbie on her laptop, and she gets very cold, which means Damien Darkblood's there. Darkblood then is able to put doubt into Debbie's mind about Nolan's involvement in the Guardians of the Globe's murders. Well, that's all we had for episode 3 of Invincible. This one starts to really show that there is a lot going on here, specifically with Robot helping the Mauler twins. Worlds collide and things are attached way more than we think they could possibly be. Weens, what do you think of that one?
Love this episode. We're getting into the meat of the season, and we're almost at the halfway mark, so get ready for episode 4.
All right, well, link to episode 4 should be on the screen somewhere, as well as a link to some of our other Invincible videos. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already, as we're going to do this for all of the first season, and then we'll have a number of different videos coming up to keep us fresh and talking about Invincible as we await for the second season. So thank you so much for watching. I'm Sean, that's Andrew. Take it easy, YouTube.